Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
Donald Trump has now been made the official Republican candidate for this November's presidential election in the United States. And already his newly appointed running mate, JD Vance, has made headlines across Britain for recent comments he directed at the new Labour government. During a speech at a right-wing conference last week, Vance said had been wondering which truly Islamist country would be the first to gain access to nuclear weapons. Recounting a conversation he had with a friend, he told the audience, "Maybe it is Iran, maybe Pakistan already kind of counts, and then we finally decided that it's actually the UK, since Labour just took over." It's difficult to know where to begin with unpicking this bizarre and unfounded comment. First, the assumption that Starmer is somehow presiding over an Islamist government is frankly laughable, given how Muslims dramatically abandoned Labour in some constituencies less than 2 weeks ago. Even since the election, Starmer has convinced many of us that his concern for lost Muslim votes is practically non-existent. In an interview with ITV's Shahab Khan, when questioned on how his party would win back disillusioned British Muslims, Starmer repeatedly reiterated what a large mandate the country had given him. In other words, it doesn't matter if us Muslim voters feel ousted by the party we have always supported when Labour won a landslide, no matter how shallow it is. But underneath the sheer absurdity of Vance's comments is a very troubling Islamophobic current that mirrors much of what we are seeing in Britain at the moment. Since the country went to the polls at the start of the month, and particularly with the election of 5 independent MPs who stood on a largely pro-Gaza ticket, conspiracy theories about Muslims have been rife. Muslim voters have been accused of intimidation for simply asking their representatives about their stance on voting for a ceasefire, or by accusing them of being complicit in the very invasion that their party supports by refusing to cease arms sales to Israel. Anti-Muslim hysteria is so high in Britain at the moment that this narrative is going almost unchecked. To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5 video. Any Muslim involvement in politics is, seemingly by default, evidence of us operating as a fifth column against the interests of the nation. We've seen the same replicated across the country. Almost as soon as the election results rolled in, sensationalist and downright Islamophobic headlines popped up in some publications accusing Muslim voters of dominating the election with their sanitized Islamism or warning that politics has become frightening and horrifying due to the Muslim vote campaign. Considering how Muslims are endlessly told to integrate, participate and engage, why is it that when we do, it's suddenly nefarious and anti-British? At the same time, JD Vance's comments should be of concern to more than just British Muslims tired of the same Islamophobic tropes. The fact is, we may well be looking at a Trump presidency in just a few months' time, and so far Labour have proven that they'll cower in the face of a dangerous world order dominated by Trump and his cronies. New Foreign Secretary David Lammy has previously called JD Vance a friend, and the highest-ranking Labour frontbenchers today seem unable to gather together the words to condemn Vance's flagrant Islamophobia. Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner seemed to dismiss concerns about the comments, simply saying she does not recognise this characterization of Britain. While Minister James Murray smirked when asked about Vance's remarks and reiterated that it's for America to decide who they elect. Just weeks into their premiership, this new Labour government has already proven itself impotent on foreign policy, and not just on this issue. Chilling last tweets of man killed during Trump assassination attempt, influencer jailed for human trafficking and slavery of woman, car drives into hot acidic lake with 5 people inside, Donald Trump gunman Thomas Crooks confronted by police officer moments before shooting. Despite previously claiming that Labour would comply with the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant for Netanyahu, on David Lammy's first overseas trip as